Myers. I'm one of the Coast Guard Terros, and I'd like to welcome you to this event, the 2016 Annual Awards Banquet, and probably the greatest collection of Coast Guard aviators, their families, active duty, that there has ever been or probably ever will be. This is an incredible group of Coast Guard folks, and I'm so glad that all of you are here. And I know some of you came from quite a ways away.
17, there seem to be a couple of unusually clad individuals back there who are going to move forward and help with this award presentation. We have the Ancient Albatross in the United States Coast Guard and the Ancient Enlisted Albatross, Vice Admiral Charles Ray and Master Chief Clay Hill. Please come forward and assist.
It's now time to turn our attention to this year's awards. Okay, now we're going to turn our attention to the Coast Guard Rescue Awards. Okay? And I would be remiss if I didn't set the stage with the Coast Guard saying, "It was a dark and stormy night. And there were sharks and alligators circling." And in the case of the Alaskan people, there were 100-foot trees that were filled with grizzly bears. Anyway, their bravery is beyond compare. The crew of the MH-60 6032 of Sitka Air Station is the recipient of the 1960 Captain Erickson Rotary Wing Rescue Award. Will the members of that crew, Lieutenant Commander Christopher Stoeckler, Lieutenant Matthew Herring, Aviation Electronics 3rd Class Jeremy Reed, Aviation Survival Technician 2nd Class Brendan Dent, and Health Services Technician 2nd Class Ryan F. Ransom, please come forward to join Vice Admiral Ray, Master Chief Hill, Captain Kimball, and Rear Admiral Van Sykes. The crew of the Coast Guard 6032 is cited for superior performance of duty responding to a downed aircraft in the vicinity of Point Howard, Alaska on 17 July 2015. Upon notification of a plane carrying 5 passengers had impacted the side of a mountain, the crew in Coast Guard 6032 immediately configured the helicopter cabin for multiple casualties, charted the most expeditious route, and launched into a deteriorating weather conditions. En route, the crew of the 6032 battled low clouds, 20-knot winds, light rain, and mist, quarter-mile visibility during the 170 nautical mile transit. Due to the rugged terrain expected, Coast Guard 6032 diverted to Juneau and embarked 2 Juneau Mountain Rescue volunteers before continuing along the Cretaceous route via the inland pass with steeply rising terrain on both sides of the aircraft. Arriving at the last known position, the air crew was unable to visibly locate the crash site due to 600-foot ceilings, so the crew devised a plan to place the 6032 in a high hover with a cabin door facing the mountain and have the flight mechanic con the aircraft vertically, slowly ascending to the crash site while tracking the aircraft's emergency beacon and cautiously keeping the main and tail rotors clear of all obstacles. At 1,300 feet, the air crew located the plane in wreckage scattered amongst 200-foot tall trees. Unable to be lowered directly to the crash site, the rescue swimmer, aviation mission specialist, corpsman, and 2 JMR personnel were hoisted to a small clearing 100 feet above the wreckage, where they carefully descended via precipitous 60-degree angle slope to assess the victims. Discovering 2 hypothermic victims and 1 suffering life-threatening injuries, the 4 ground personnel painstakingly transported 1 littered victim and assisted 2 other victims to the treacherously steep slope littered with aircraft debris, downed limbs, high winds to reach the only available hoisting area. With the weather worsening, the crew of the 6032 conducted 4 demanding hoists of the injured survivors and AMS while overcoming fatally internal communication system due to water intrusion from heavy rain. In order to avoid terrain and begin the transit to Juneau, the 603 was forced to climb into instrument conditions and then execute an approach to the water from 1,500 feet down to 30 feet. Then they successfully navigated through quarter-mile visibility, winds and rain, while managing the faulty communication system to deliver the first 3 victims to emergency care. After delivering survivors to the awaiting EMS, Coast Guard 603 to retract the treacherous route to recover the last survivor and rescue the team personnel. Demonstrating superior airmanship and ingenuity, resolve, the crew of the 603-2 overcame numerous obstacles to ultimately save 4 lives. Their performance is in keeping with the tradition of Captain Franklin Erickson, adding a proud chapter to the proud history of Coast Guard aviation.